The darker side of local history may bring hope for a better future. That's the goal of a project now underway in Anderson County. Foxconn's Brooklyn Cromer has more.
We need to remember the past. This happened. It was a tragedy. It was an injustice.
Stuart Sprague spent 2 years researching the deaths of 5 men.
We launched the Anderson County initiative to remember these men who were lynched back in the 1890s up through 1911.
Heading up the Anderson Area Remembrance and Reconciliation Initiative, Sprague located the sites where the men were killed.
We identified approximately where those took place in Anderson County. And so we were able then to go to those locations, collect soil from each one, and then we had the soil put in jars.
The group collected soil from sites in Anderson County, Williamston, Honeypath, Piedmont, and downtown Anderson. It's now being stored at the Peace and Justice Memorial Center in Montgomery, Alabama.
They have a project of remembering the victims of lynching all across the United States.
I'm standing near one of the 5 known lynching sites in Anderson County. This is where 18-year-old Elbert Harris was attacked and killed by a mob near the old Anderson jail in what is now downtown Anderson.
His memory will be enshrined there, and those who go will know that we honored him in Anderson County.
The names of Edward Sullivan, Elbert Harris, John Ladson, Reuben Elrod, and Willis Jackson are permanently marked on 5 jars.
This is a human being whose life was taken and unjustly, and we can't undo that, but we can honor their memory, and we can do justice to their name now that we know who they are.
Sprague wants people to remember their names.
This is about history and things that actually happened here. But it's more than that. It's about moving toward a point where we have true reconciliation and that there is racial justice.
In Anderson County, Brooklyn Cromer, Fox Carolina News.